traditional schools in Kampala, in Uganda, one of the strongest schools, girls' schools in the eastern part of Africa, right here in Kampala, right here in Uganda. And you can see what this gentleman is doing with the poetry clubs in Nabisonsa Secondary School, and we're going to see a little bit more about that. Peter, welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
I want to encourage everyone, first of all, to send in their kisses and disses to you. Those who have to send kiss.
Bring.
Yes, but I want to take you straight, Peter. Welcome back to the program. Peter, our topic today is, I'm going to ask the team to put it up there for everyone out there, is looking at defining and distinguishing poetry, prose, and drama in Uganda and beyond borders. I will repeat this. Defining and distinguishing poetry, prose being style, and drama in Uganda and beyond borders. Now,
yes,
always when we talk about this, you of course have a very elaborate, write-up there. If you look at your, the first work which you brought out was Romeo and Juliet in Kampala. We want to know what inspired that. Was that your first work? And while you throw in a little bit about those three things that we've talked about, defining, of course, and distinguishing the difference between the prose, the drama, and of course
the poetry
in behind. And so many times we don't know which one is which, and we want people to understand from the creative industry talk what this really is about. We're talking about defining that moment, given the COVID-19 situation, given the education system that have been completely, down for the last 2 years, and we're being told that suddenly there's a possibility that we're not going to open, come 2022 or thereabout. And COVID is throwing a lot of things there, but dive into it.
Well, so distinguishing prose, poetry, and drama.
Yes.
This is an academic question.
Yes.
So let me just be frank with it. So we have literature. Literature can easily simply be defined as the creative expressions of a given culture, of a given people. That falls within an essay. That is in a form of prose. Yes. Now poetry is more rhythmic. It is briefer, and in most cases we use a lot of descriptive and colorful language. So if you look at a novel and a poem, what a novel can say in 200 words, a poem can say in 1 page. Now, those are the differences between the poetry.
That's the difference between these.
Yes. Now, when it comes to drama, the way you hear the word, drama is language in action.
Yes.
Language in action.
Yeah.
So drama is that kind of written literature where you capture characters talking. But from what they talk, for you the reader or the listener, you can infer what is taking place. Yeah. So drama is it always takes place when characters are either talking to themselves or they're talking to others. Yeah. Now as Kagai, I have had the chance of practicing all the three.
Yes.
I have written some prose, I've written some poetry, and I've written some drama. Now, it is the drama that you wanted me to comment about, Romeo and Juliet
in Kampala.
Yes. So my friends and I wrote a play. We're a team of 6. Yeah. Now we're a team of. We started out at 6, but now we are 5. Yeah. There is a poet who is myself. There is a percussionist, a drummer. Okay. Now he's in Brazil, but he's Ugandan. Yeah. There is a break dancer, Abraham Stecher. Yes. There is a big girl, and there is an actor called Biamukama. And we came together, people from different, even when we were doing art, people from different walks of life. Yes, that's the guy. Yes. Now imagine Abraham being Romeo, being part of the play, and this time we've asked him, rather than fight, but to break dance. Yes. So we came together and we wrote a play called Romeo and Juliet in Kampala. We imagined Romeo and Juliet were living in Kampala, and the story was a Kampala story. So what happens? So we wrote it in 2019. We staged it here in Kampala, and then also staged it in Germany and we did it again this year at the Africolon Festival. We basically Ugandanized Shakespeare. We Ugandanized the story. Then I've also worked on other plays like Arrest the Poem, which we featured at the Baimba International Festival in 2018. We wrote another play called Tokubatota. Tokubatota was also featured at the Baimba International Festival in 2017. And then I wrote a one-man play called The Audience Must Say Amen. That one was adapted from my poetry book, the first one that I published called The Headline That Morning. And it also featured at the Kampala International Festival and also the Africolon. Somehow the Africolon Festival loves my works. Yes. To the writers out there, for me, what I would want to advise you is that when you are a writer, in as much as it is important to know your voice and to know your niche, it's also more important to also be flexible. Now, for me as Kagai, my poems have been adapted into drama. You know, where even when you are writing a poem, you don't remain rigid and say, for me, I only wrote my poems. They are supposed to be published. They cannot be performed. I think as an artist, you must allow your works to grow beyond you. Team up with visual artists and see what pictures they can draw out of your poems. Team up with fashionistas, see what kind of costumes they can develop. With songwriters, see what kind of songs they can develop. Because if you don't allow your literature to grow, then it cannot feed you. And for the times that we are living in like these, for these COVID times we're living in, it's very important that as artists we allow our works to grow into all the genres that they can grow into. So if you're a poet out there and you write your poems and you keep them in your books and then, put the book under the pillow, let me tell you, that is not a place where your poems should be. Your poems should be outside there with musicians. They should be with the graphic artists, They should be with fashion designers. They should be with theater directors, so that you can allow them to become products that are beyond just, poems on a page.
Wow. On that note, Peter Kagai, we want you to just give us an understanding of the three things that you have talked about in a poem.
In a poem.
Yes.
Right now.
Yes. On the spontaneous, if you're looking at, if I want to see the good example of prose, of a definition defining and distinguishing between the poem, the prose, and the drama. Yes. I know you match three of them in one go. We're going to put you in a spotlight just so that somebody out there can actually understand exactly, practically what you're talking about.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Here is Peter, and we want to hear from you. If you're a poet, if you're a drummer, if you're a writer, please. I think that Peter is giving you something very interesting. Let's dive into it right now.
Someone ran very fast until someone is in trouble. Someone ran very fast until someone is in trouble. Someone ran very fast until someone is in trouble. But before you go, turn your ear towards the night sky and hear the sound of the raging storm. Hear the vociferous fury. The Sandra Brigade is seething as it comes together to march in a single force. Someone ran very fast and announced the trouble. Someone ran very fast until someone is in trouble. Sana fuziridde kalala nkoma omusana gwakira ku bikukuju enkoko za KFC twazirisiza nkuku nyina makovu. The rumor is ripe for harvest and the village has gathered to know. Someone ran very fast and announced the trouble.
Wow. Wow, thank you so much, Peter. Peter, I mean, we're learning quite a bit from you on the Creative Industry Talk. I want to take you straight to my next question. What is your work schedule like when you are actually writing these plays? Because there's another thing, what frame of mind must you be in, or must I be in when I'm writing? You've been writing for some time, you've been across the borders, across Europe, across Americas. What has been the experiences you pick from there, and what is your schedule like when you're writing? What kind of frame of mind should one be in, or are you always in when you're writing to put this beautiful work out there?
I think now I can recognize it. I can say there are two frames of mind that I'm always in. One, there is when I am writing work to be performed. And I am deliberate about, I envision the audience that I'm going to be with. Perhaps I even already have the contract and I'm told, you write this play or write this poem, it's supposed to be for this purpose. And I put myself to that target. And so that influences the decisions you make. For example, the books I'm going to buy to read, because that is where, for me, the resources go in research. Who should I consult about this particular topic that I'm supposed to be writing about or performing about? So there is that frame of mind. But then there's also the frame of mind of the leisure writer who is with friends, and then someone makes a joke and then it tickles your mind. And so where you are writing for yourself, you're not really writing to deliver. You're just writing a beautiful kind of work. So for me, there are two types of frames of mind. So for the very first one, I have a process. And for me, the process is, I take it like an assignment. So I'm going to write about a topic, I write the topic down. I ask myself about in what languages do I want it to be, I take note of that. What other ideas do I want to explore? What are the themes I want to explore in this particular topic? I write them down. Who has written about them? I go and buy those books. It could be an academic book, it could be a drama book, it could be a novel, it could be a poetry book. So then I start reading about that topic. Then in the process of reading about it, I am listening to what people are saying. I'm listening to the radio, I'm watching TV, I'm on social media. Try to tap into the vibe of what are the people saying or thinking about this. Then, and that could sometimes take a period of 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Then after 2 weeks of reading and researching and listening to people, then I start writing the poem. There is that deliberate process. Yeah. Then for the second stage, where I'm writing for myself and I'm really writing about what inspires me, that I can do anytime, any day. In fact, sometimes I task myself to say, you know what, yes, I want to write 100 poems this month. And it doesn't matter whether they're going to be the best poems or not. For me, what I want is my deliverables at the end of the month. Yeah. At the end of 30 days, I must have written 3 poems every day. So you write a poem and I say, I'm going to write a poem when I wake up. I'm going to write a poem after I've had my lunch. I'm going to write a poem before I sleep. And I'm going to just be writing about the things that are happening in my day. So you sort of document your life, or you make a diary of your life through poems. Yeah. And these are things you're not going to share with anyone, things that you may not even like. So, but what I recognize most importantly is that the moment I decided to become a writer, I said this is my 9 to 5. The same way a lawyer wakes up, an engineer wakes up, they leave work, they go to one office, they have a boss they account to, they have deliverables at the end of the month. I, as a writer, even when I'm my own boss, I have to give myself deliverables.
Which is disciplined.
That discipline is key. I know so many people who decided to become writers because they are lazy. They didn't want to go and do other things and they thought they could just get away with it. So they come into this world, yes, of creative writing and they slack. Yes. Guys who write 1 book in 6 years, wow, they write 3 poems and they recite 3 poems for 5 years. And you're wondering, where is your effort going? And you're still wondering why creatives are broke. We need to put ourselves to that question and ask ourselves, what are we doing to make sure that we produce more and more and more and more and more and more and more? Because it is in producing this lot this a lot, that we can get the best out of our generation.
Wow.
If you know, even when we say these are, you see, even when we say these are our